where does the effect of the mantra arise from if it is not in Sanskrit? So who said the mantra only has to be Sanskrit? See, the first thing is that the mantra is a biggest kept secret. How a mantra works, nobody knows. And people who know will not tell. That's why it's a secret. If it's not, if the people who know start telling, then it's no longer a secret. Agree? So mantras is one of those the Maha secrets. One is how life happens like that. So mantra is a secret. But so I'll tell you my understanding. So everything moves from the subtle to the gross. Even look at it in your life. First, what happens? A thought comes. Then that thought cognizes into some understanding, and then that understanding translates into action. Right? That is how it's happening. Because if I don't have a thought of picking up this cup is not going to be picked up on its own. Thought has to come, understanding has to happen. Oh, pick up cup, muscle has to move, that action has to happen, all that. So it always moves from gross to subtle, right? So which means that all the knowledge that we have with us today must have come from the subtle. Right? You can't just have knowledge in the gross and it not being in the subtle, because everything moves from subtle to gross. So the way of tuning into the subtle to manifest that into the gross is one of the mechanisms, not one of the mechanisms, is mantra. And mantra is essentially using intonations of sound, which is correct vibration, frequency vibrations. And then somehow those frequency vibrations go from the gross to the subtle, and the information from the subtle to the gross comes back. This is what is happening in mantra. It is beyond language. It is on the frequency of the intonation. And in Sanskrit, since it is a phonetic language, the intonation is exactly how it is written. You cannot have a word in Sanskrit that is pronounced as rendezvous, but is written as rendezvous. It is not going to happen. That is not going to happen in Sanskrit, because Sanskrit is phonetic language. How it is written is how it is pronounced, right? So these mantras are written in precise words that have, when they are chanted properly, when the Shiva is said properly, Shiva, then that Shiva Tattva is invoked automatically. This is the power of Sanskrit. But it is beyond language. You could do the same thing in Hindi, like for Hanuman Chalisa, which is the old Hindi. The intonation of the Hanuman Chalisa has to be perfect, then that Hanuman Tattva is invoked automatically. It is like there is no difference in playing, let's say, a drum beat on a banjo versus a tabla. It is the same. Once you understand music, you can make the music in any instrument. So it doesn't have to be tabla is the only correct sound and banjo is the wrong sound. It's not like that. You understand? So it's all a matter of the right intonation frequency, because the subtle has to be downloaded, and that downloading process is highly secret. Nobody understands. But this is how I think it works. This is my understanding. Okay.